Sustainable Development Goals are the 17 key objectives that are set for all of us to help the low-income countries and emerging markets to actually reach a decent level in terms of health, education, access to water, sanitation, lots of other things. But we have focused on those key elements.
Is it the responsibility of the IMF to try to reduce that shortfall and identify and then seek those funds?
It's our duty to help countries, each of them with its specificities, raise revenues. So we call it domestic revenue mobilization, and we provide technical assistance for that. It's our duty to help them figure out what is their fiscal plan for the medium term. How much do they want to raise over the course of the next few years? It's our duty to help them spend efficiently.
You also put out a report this week, the IMF did, and talking about the forecast and revising the forecast for 2019.
We revised down by 0.2%. So in October we said global growth will be 3.7, now we say 3.5. It's not a major revision. It's a rather modest one, and we still have quite decent growth. 3.5 is nothing to, be shy about or ashamed of. It's pretty good. Where I look at the half-empty glass is that we see risks on the horizon, and the horizon is getting closer to us. And those risks start with the like of, here in Europe, Brexit. How will it pan out? When? What will be the transition period? What will be the divorce and future collaboration terms? Big question mark. Second one, trade, friction, tension, war, whatever you call it. How will it be resolved? What tariff will be reduced or increased? Which sectors will be affected? Again, there is negotiations going on. There is WTO efforts for reform, but it's also a big question mark. And then you look at the financing cost that will apply as economies actually come out of this big financial crisis. That will apply to countries, to corporate and to households that have considerably increased their debt level relative to their activity. So those are the three critical factors that we see.
Yeah, I want to ask about China. 2 points there. Of course, the U.S.-China trade war, if you can call it that, which I think you can by now, number one. And number two, the questions about China's maybe expansionistic tendencies, the Belt and Road Initiative they have, and there are stories about how they're sort of creating economic dependence by some countries in the vicinity. So what is your take on both of those?
It's fairly natural that an economy actually wants to grow. What I think is the big issue at the moment is under what terms and conditions, and on an international basis, how even-handed, how respectful is this attempt to grow and to expand.
A lot of people look at this World Economic Forum and say they're elites talking to elites, and what really comes of this, and how does it affect human beings?
You know, it's a platform where you meet all sorts of completely different people in a very short period of time, and where I can talk to the finance minister of Saudi Arabia, the prime minister of Egypt, the president of Ecuador, as well as with activists, NGO representatives, to really appreciate what more and better we can do for our members. So I know it looks terribly elitist and all of that, but it's an unbelievably productive space for good deeds, good progress, good understanding of completely alien basis, I'm sure, for lots of people.